Alright guys, this vlog is going to be kind of an introductory vlog to X-Wing. Kind of give some variety here on the channel. And I love X-Wing. I kind of getting more and more into it for the simple fact that it's still a miniature base game. The models, the ships are already pre-painted, so you don't really have to mess with that. But at the same time, the mechanics of it make it so easy to play. As a good friend of mine described it, it takes 5 to 10 minutes to explain it, but a lifetime to master. And that's really just a draw factor for me. Now, in comparison to 40K, where you can explain it for a half hour, but really you actually need to play a small game in order to fully explain it and really takes a long time to master. And even then, with the way Games Workshop has been working, sorry to hear any cars, the way Games Workshop's going about it, there's really no actual mastery per se. It's more or less you understand how your army works, because one second, car going by. Alright, now to finish my thought. One of the examples of how the understanding and how things change so much in 40K, in 6th edition, the 6th edition Space Marine Codex, Scouts used to be weapon skill, ballistic skill 3. In the new updated codex, they're now ballistic skill, weapon skill 4. So they've improved. So the way people play with Space Marine Scouts is vastly different now than when it was then. So you had a good understanding how they worked. One second. So you had a good understanding of how the Scouts worked. Then, now, it's kind of a shock of, wow, they're better, but man, is that going to be taking some getting used to. Whereas here in X-Wing, it's very quick and easy to say, okay, this is what a ship can do, can't do, and it basically comes down to two things in X-Wing. To two variables. Your ability to fly and your dice rolls. In fact, probably the only thing, well, only two things, kind of, that X-Wing has in common with 40K. Where the battle is unpredictable. You don't know, since the maneuver dials are secret, you don't know exactly what your opponent is going to be doing, while you have to rely heavily on some lucky dice rolls in order to knock your opponent out. The other thing that draws me is X-Wing, it's clear cut. Black and white, winner and loser. There's only been there's a few instances where you can get a draw. But for the most part, it's clear cut. You win by destroying your opponent and you lose by being destroyed. Whereas there's so many different variables, so many select variables in 40K, that you could go from being clean, you're going to clear cut, lose the battle, to forcing a draw, or pulling out a win turn 5, turn 6, whatever the length is. And I'll get a little bit more into the starting kit and what else included, the upsides, the downsides, and then diving into a few of the expansions or the additional ships that you can add into your X-Wing forces, and give you kind of my thoughts and my opinions on them. Keep in mind, I haven't played a whole lot of it, which I'm hoping to change at some point. But this would be just my first impressions and what I've been able to play test thus far.